Hey all, thanks for attending a instant webinar of our accounts receivable customer portal. I'll be taking you through sort of a rundown of how the customer portal works, how it integrates with Dynamics GP. But at any time, if you want to schedule a actual webinar, we'd be happy to do so. Just contact us at sales@fidesic.com, and we'd be happy to get you a custom demo. We can kind of dive into the admin side of the portal as well, show you some features, and talk about the potential customizations a little bit more, and answer any questions that you may have. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to us, and we'd be happy to get you a custom demo. So what I'll be going through here today is, first off, I'm going to show you the customer portal itself. So this is a self-service customer portal that allows your customers to issue payments. We can control whether or not they can pay by credit card or ACH or both. They have some different visibility options as well. But basically, it's an easy way to get your customers a portal where they can review invoices, issue payments, and hopefully not have to call you and ask questions about their account. So I'm sitting at a login screen here. This login screen is sort of generically branded for our fake company, The World Online, but in the real world, this would be branded as your company. This will be your logo. It would be your company name.fidesic.com. And that's a static location that you can direct your customers to. So if it's their first time, they'll have a sign-up email, but once they're registered for their account, they can go ahead and log into the portal using their unique username and password. So initially, when they sign up for the process, we'll send an email notification to them based on the email that you have set in the customer card in GP, and they'll just click that link, and they will be able to click that link and basically create their account and create a password. So I'll go ahead and log in as our test customer here. So I'll be able to view all of the payments that I've sent. I'll be able to view all the invoices that I've received, and I'll be able to add a payment method to my account. So for this account, all I have is the ability to add a checking account, and I've already added a checking account to this particular account. But if you'd like, we can configure it so you can add a credit card as well, and then the end user would be able to add a credit card from this page. They'll just have another button here that says Add Credit Card. So most importantly, what I can do from this customer portal is I can actually make payments against the invoices that have been sent to me. So any invoice that you upload to our portal directly from GP will be available to the customer here, and we're going to be able to have that customer view that invoice detail and a bit more info. So if I click on that invoice number itself, I'll be taken to a page that has the line item level detail, any information that was synced over from GP, and most importantly, it's also going to have that PDF copy. So from an end user's perspective, I will be able to click on that PDF link. I can print it. I can save it just like I would if I had that PDF locally. So it makes it another thing that your customers shouldn't have to call and ask you for on a reprint if they just want to look up some basic information. We can also see the current document status on this, which is partially paid, and that's because there is already a payment that has been applied to that account, or to this particular invoice. So you can see that right within the system. That's something that your customers should have visibility into, and just like everything else that I'm talking about here, that's just something that's going to sync with GP automatically. So you can kind of think of this as like the front end perspective for a customer of your GP system. It's going to show them everything that they need, everything that they want to see, and you're not going to have to do anything separate to get these two systems in communication. So I can either pay directly from this page, if I just enter some basic payment information, or if I've got multiple on this page here, I can go through and check all of my pending invoices. And then for my quick pay menu down here, I can select my payment type and click that pay button, and then I'll go ahead and authorize that payment. So now that I've scheduled that payment, that will be available to me under the Payment Sent tab. And from your perspective on the admin side, you're also going to be able to see that a payment has been scheduled, and that you can see what invoices are being paid by it and when you can expect that to hit your account. So if I flip over to the admin side here, So from the admin side, I'm going to have some visibility into my customers here. So if I click on that customers tab, I can see all of the customers that I have, which means I can look up a individual customer. If we're looking up our Central C, we can check on this customer, see any open transactions that are associated with that customer, see some basic customer information that we're going to sync from GP, and we've even got a customer view option here. So this customer view option is going to show you exactly what that customer can see within the portal to kind of make it easy for you to see exactly what's going on from their perspective on that customer portal. If I go to invoices sent, this is like my macro view where I can see all of the invoices that have been sent out, and I can also go to payments received. So this will show me all the payments that are currently pending for me and the status on those. So I'll be able to get a heads up on the payments that are scheduled to come into my system as soon as that customer schedules it. So I've made reference to GP a couple times already on this call. So I'll show you how that GP integration works itself. But basically, our GP module will exist right within GP. So it's not like a separate connection full of flat files and clunky connections. We integrate directly with GP, which means basically from your perspective, you can do your AR processing as you would normally do. And then we'll sync the two systems at different situations throughout that process. So your customers will always have an accurate representation of what's going on with their account. So if I'm just in regular SOP batch entry, we also support the RM window, but I'll work with SOP here. So we can do some invoices as our batch ID. And I'll go ahead and create an invoice in this batch. Pick our customers. This is all just stock GP type things that I'm doing here. And now that I've added an invoice to this batch, we can then go through the process to get it uploaded to our system. So while I manually added an invoice, many of our customers have like a third-party sales front end that creates the invoice batches in GP. As long as it makes it into a batch form in GP, it should work just fine. So if you've got a different system that does the creation, no worries. And if you're creating them like I just did, that's obviously fine as well. So once I've got my batch created here, I can go to additional, and then this is the option that will add to your GP system, which is send via Fidesic. And what that's going to do is take everything that's in this batch directly, PDF it, and then upload it to our system. So we can see here, we've got our one invoice preview here. And at this point, we're also able to see what method of delivery we're going to notify that customer. This is going to be configurable on the customer card within GP. So you can decide how and if you want our system to email your customers. You can just manage that on the customer card, just like you would manage any other item on the customer card. So something that I think I've mentioned thus far, but we get all of our customer data directly from GP. So as long as you're managing your customer records in GP like you are today, there's no separate system to manage. So I'll get a preview here. I can click that submit button, and then I'll just be prompted for my password. And that's going to upload those invoices from GP up to our system. And if there's any issue with that upload process, as you can see, I can move it to an exception batch. So if there's a duplicate invoice number or something like that, that's not going to freeze up the rest of your processing. You can upload things just as you would normally do. So now that I've uploaded this, I can simply post this batch just like I would do normally in GP. And that batch is now posted to account and ready to receive payments against it. So in GP now, there's a couple of other places that we do sync up just so you're aware of how our integration actually works once this batch finishes posting. So the first place that we're going to sync is on the receivables batches entry menu. So if we create our receipts batch where we would normally enter our payment receipts in, we can enter those payment receipts or returns as we would do normally in this window. And then when you post this batch, that's going to sync back up with our portal and update our records. So any offline payments, things like that that are added into GP are going to sync up with the portal and be represented accurately from the customer's perspective. Now, for those payments that were issued through our system, you can grab those receipts directly from the additional menu, just like we did the upload. You'll just hit your Get Fidesic Receipts option, and then you will enter your password. And once you've entered your password, you'll then get a preview of all of the payments that have been processed that have not yet been sent over into GP. So if we're looking at these, we can go ahead and grab a couple or grab all, depending on what the situation might be. So if I just want to grab one payment that we have, I can go ahead and grab that payment and click import. And as you see, that transaction, that payment receipt was imported successfully. We've got it added in here to your batch automatically. It would work the same way with multiple payments. And then most importantly about this, it's going to go through and actually apply it to the correct invoice within the system. So it'll apply against the invoice. You won't have to go in and manually do that. The customer will do their selection on what they want to pay. And then upon that import into GP, it's going to apply accordingly. So once you've got that imported, we can then go back to our batch, post it just like we would normally do. And again, this batch could potentially contain a mix of offline and payments that were sent through our customer portal. And when you actually do the posting process, that's when it's going to sync back up with our system and update those customer records. So one, it's going to let our system know that you successfully imported it and posted it, that payment. And two, if there were any payments that were processed outside of our system, those are also going to be processed and updated accordingly. So the only other main place that will have an integration is the Apply Sales Docs menu. So when you're applying your sales docs, again, just go about your business as you would do normally. And the act of applying and posting those is what's going to update our system. So you can change how things are applied, and that will be reflected accurately in the portal as well. So that's what I mean when I say really it's a front-end version of GP from your customer's perspective. They can review, they can look up old invoices, and most importantly, they can issue you direct payments through that customer portal. So that's about it for the quick instant accounts receivable customer portal demo. Like I mentioned at the top, if you want to learn more, we're more than happy to schedule a custom demo where we can do more of a QA type format or go into any part of this process in more detail, and just send us an email to sales@fidesic.com. And we'll be happy to set that up. So thanks for taking the time to attend, and hopefully you found this valuable. Thank you.